Hello, good morning, everyone. Um, our group number is T8. Subject name is Independent Applied Research in Management and Digital Marketing. Our project name is Future of EVs and Trims Admin. Total, we have four: Philip, Aliraza, me, and Abdul in the group. So we'll go to introduction. This the role of regulations and social media influencer. Influencer has become a big part. Influencer has become a big part of how we discover products, follow trends, and even make buying decisions. But with all of that power, there is not enough regulations. So in this presentation, we'll look at why rules are needed and how influencer impact us and what we can do to make the space more honest and safe. I'll start with an introduction to the topic, then move into some context about what happening in the industry. I'll show you some data and real life examples, then break down with analytics, and finally I'll end with some conclusions and recommendation for future. Okay, I'll start because while influencers have massive influence over what people buy and how they think, they are barely an rule around what they are cannot or can do. The line between personal opinion and paid promotion is getting blurry, and that can mislead people. This raises concern from business for consumers and for the whole idea of trust and marketing. Next is context. Anyone today can call themselves an influencer. There is no screening, no license, no automability. One major example is the Flyer Festival, promoted by celebrities like Kendall Jenner without disclosing it, was an paid promotion. The event failed and people was furious. Even though law like Rule 11 of Consumer Protection from Unfair Trading Regulations 2018 exist, they are not strongly enforced. This creates changes for business. It's hard to make sure influence promote products ethically. For consumer, may people don't realize why they are being advertising to, which can lead to poor buying choice. Also, the industry is huge. It's a growth from 1.7 billion dollar into 2016 to over 21 billion dollar in 2023, and 80% of people having bought something after seeing an influencer post about it. That's the scale we are dealing with. Next slide is data. I'll hand over this to my colleague Philip, who will continue from here.
Yeah, thank you, Drew. I'm I give the brief detail of data. Uh, let's take a step back and look how influencer marketing actually works. One of the best ways to understand this process is through the AIDA model. AIDA means which stands like attention, interest, desire, and action. What is attention? We say that attention is a first step. Influencer grab our attention using eye-catching visuals, and one of the things like viral trends and clever hooks in the reels. Also, even in controversial takes, this goal, how its goal was to stand out in a crowded feed and make you stop scrolling. Next come its interest, and we tell about the interest like once we catch our eye, they build a connection, and maybe relatable personality, the lifestyle, and also we talk about the ethical they seems, and people start to trust them not as advertisers, but as a real people giving a real opinions. And then we move to the desire. The influencers showcase products in a way that makes them seems like essential tools for the better life, whether it's glowing skin, a better wardrobe, or easier lifestyle. And they make the product feel desirable, almost apprentical. And finally, action. When we talk about the action, this is where the influencer really kicks in when the followers clicks the link, use the discount code, and also they will buy the product, even just share the content. The influencer can successfully turn attention into a transaction. But here, where the issues comes from how much of the process is done without clearly stating that is an ad. That trust we mentioned earlier is being manipulated sometimes, and when influencers don't disclose paid partnership, it blurs the line between the genuine recommendation and the sponsorship production promotion. That's not ethical. It's be often legal, especially in some many countries. Like they were advertising the law require full transparency. And come to the slide six, the influencers scandals we can seems on the slide six. And mm, now let's look at what happens when things go wrong. Uh, we've seen several high-profile influencer scandals that how just how powerful and risky this space can be. The Logan Paul is an influencer in famous video firm. He's from the Japan, and he's give the suicide forest catch the global outrage. And while that video was sponsored and the fallout was massive, the brands dropped him, and his YouTube ad revenue plummeted, and his image was severely damaged. And since the influence are being representatives of the brands they work with, it also hurt those brands by association. And the one other example is like Fire Festival disaster. The influencers like Bella Hadid and Kendall Jenner promoted it without disclosing what they are paid. People spend thousands of expecting a luxurious experience, but got tents and cheese the sandwiches, and it was just a fail event. It will expose how the influencer marketing can be deceptive and damaging, especially when there's no transparency. And how who would forget the Pepsi ad and with the Kendall Jenner? It's like while technically it's not influencer content, but it's followed the same formula. Like it's using the celebrity to promote a message or try to tap into social justice movements, but backfired specularity. It's well tone deaf, and instead of by promoting the unity, it came off as trivializing serious issues. That example shows how risky influence campaigns can be if they don't thoughtfully and sensitive. And come to the slide seven, business, the impact on the business. So what they take away for the brands and the influences misstep can have the real consequences. And it's unethical influencer behavior just doesn't just hurt the influencers, it's reflect the back on the brands that represent. Even a single candle can be cause a loss of public trust, damage, and also the brand image. And also it can lead to the boycotts of all online backlash. In fact, a recent survey has begun to the last times and show the 71% of consumer distrust influence in promotions when they don't clear what they are sponsored, and people don't want to real trick, they want to honesty. It seems like we are also living in the age of cancel culture, and where one mistake has gone to the viral in the minutes, and the brands are now be extremely cautious. Uh, they are doing more background checks, additionally adding the morality clauses in the contracts, and even pulling out of the partnership if they are not hit of controversy. In the short, influence, the marketing can be powerful, but it's not done ethically. It's also cost the brands the reputation. Sometimes it take the years to build a second destroy. And the slide 8, the last one I need to discuss about the data analysis, the consumer issues and data. Let's when you look to the all the things of consumer point of view, the one biggest issue the consumer faces is that most people can't tell the difference between the ad and the person opinion, especially when the influence can't inform about the sponsorship. This is partially dangerous in sensitive industry like health and also the beauty and the fitness, and the influence might be promote weight loss and teeth and skincare routines and or supplements. Products can have be scientifically tested, but it's not proven by professionally. Like the people trust them and follow the advice, and sometimes even risk their health without realizing what the promotions are be driven by the profit or science. As a result, I need to tell that the public is demanding the change. Like they are growing call for like strict regulations and also the influencer content. Um, it's a mandatory and clear disclosures for all the paid promotion that we discuss, and the better education for consumers to especially younger audience, so they can recognize what they be market to. And I done for my part, and I'm leaving to the stuff that I need to handle. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philips. Hello, everyone. I am Ali. I'm going to explain the rest part of this presentation in front of you. Let's start with the content analysis. Stockholders' sentiments when analyzing the influencer marketing. It's clear stakeholders include influencers, brands, platforms, and the consumers as well. Sentiments analysis shows the rising frustrations from the customers who feel misled. Analytical tools help to track the performance, but not always ethics. We need tools that check not just engagement, but honestly. Moving to the next slide, understanding bigger pictures. What we are really seeing is the trust issues. People like and trust influencers, but their trust is being used to push the products, often without the proper transparency. And the current laws do not do enough to stop it. Now, what we can do? This is not just a marketing issue, it's about the ethics and the consumer protection as well. Moving to the next slide. Future directions, solutions. So, what can we do? Short terms, we have clear contracts between the influencers and the brands as well. Use tools like Influencity, Hype auditors to monitor the transparency. Only work with the influencers who follow the ethical practices. For the long terms, set up official influencer register. We have to register the influencers, launch education program for the influencers. We have to educate the influencers as well, teach the public to spot when they are being marketed. Push platforms like Instagram, TikTok, auto labels, ads on social medias. Moving to the next slide. Long versus short term approaches. We need a balanced plan. Short term actions keep things safe right now, but long term solutions build trust and credibility into the system for the future. The goal is not to stop influencers marketing, it's not make to the honest and the sustainable. The rest part of this presentation will explain by the Abdur Rahim. Thank you so much for your valuable listening. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. The topic I would like to discuss firstly is the challenges we are going to face. The main point is that influencer marketing is now more trusted than traditional advertising, but it's dangerously under-regulated. So the key challenges we would like to face is that the trust versus regulation. People tend to trust influencers more than typical ads, especially young audiences. But this trust is being exploited because there are no clear or enforced rules about what influencers can or can't do. Blurry lines between paid and organic content. Influencers often don't clearly say when a post is sponsored. This makes it hard for viewers to know what's genuine versus what's being paid for, which is misleading. So, the third part I would like to discuss is the lack of enforcement. Even when regulations exist, like rule number 11, which likely refers to rules about disclosure or fair marketing, they are often being ignored. There's a little oversight, so many influencers and brands break the rule without consequences. So, the conclusion of this topic is that if this continues unchecked, influencer marketing risks becoming manipulative and harmful. Regulations needs to catch up before public trust is permanently damaged. The next slide I would like to discuss is the future recommendations. So the main point of this slide is that there's a way to fix this by creating a fair, transparent system that still allows influencer culture to thrive. So the recommended solution I would like to discuss are the mandatory disclosures. Every platform such as YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. should require influencers to clearly label sponsored content. This ensures audience know what they are watching or buying into. The second topic I would like to discuss in the recommendations is influencer certification system. Similar to how professional gets license, example, the real estate agents, teachers, influencers could go through a short training or certification to learn ethical guidelines. This professionalizes the space and builds trust. So the next topic I would like to discuss in the recommendation section is the collaboration across sectors. Government, social media platforms, and brands should all take responsibilities. It can't just be one group fixing the problem because everyone needs to cooperate to make meaningful changes. Education for audiences. The main part of the recommendation is that audience should be educated, especially young users should be taught how to recognize the manipulative content or misleading advertising. Media literacy is key to build smarter audience. The core message I would like to suggest for the recommendation is that influencer culture isn't the enemy, but without guardrails, it becomes a problem. Accountability is what makes it sustainable. The next slide I would like to cover is the future variables and external events. The main point of this slide is that even the good policies we have to stay alert because new tech and social changes can rapidly shift the landscape. So the future challenges we are going to face that are the AI influencers and deepfakes. AI generated influencers are already here and they took real. Deepfake videos can mimic real people saying or promoting things they never did. This makes distinguishing truth from fiction extremely difficult. The political influence, new laws could come in faster or slow depending on political pressure. An election or major event might push regulations forward or stall it. Scandals and sudden changes. A major influencer scandal like fraud or misinformation could force platforms to act quickly and change their policies overnight. The constant platform evaluation is covering social media platform changes all the time. New features, algorithm, or even new platforms like Thread emerge. Regulation and strategies needs to be flexible enough to adapt to those shifts. The conclusion of this topic, we can't predict everything, but we can prepare. The key is staying proactive instead of reactive. So the last slide for the conclusion of this presentation is that